Hi, you guys, it's Mrs. Palmer. I have had a few of you email me about questions on your ALEX assignment that look like this, and so I'm just going to do a couple more examples for you. Now, remember when you add and subtract fractions, you have to find a common denominator for the fractions before you can do that. And a common denominator is the least common multiple between the two denominators. So let's say that you have the fractions 1/2 and 3/5, and I ask you to add these two fractions. Okay, the common denominator here would be 10. And remember, the way that you find that is the common denominator is the least common multiple between 2 and 5. So if we list the multiples of 2, 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 4 is 8, 2 times 5 is 10. Okay, these would be some multiples of 2. If we list the multiples of 5, 5 times 1 is 5, 5 times 2 is 10, so the least common multiple is 10. That is our common denominator. Okay, now 2 and 5 can both divide into 10 evenly. Okay, and a way that you can find a common multiple is to multiply the 2 and the 5 together to give you 10. Okay, now once you find your common denominator, whatever you had to multiply the bottom by to get to 10, you also have to multiply the top by that same number. So to go from 2 to 10, we have to multiply by 5. So that means we also have to multiply the 1 by 5, which gives us 5/10. So 1/2 becomes 5/10. And then to get from 5 to 10, we have to multiply by 2. So we also have to multiply the top by 2, and that gives us 6/10. So 3/5 becomes 6/10. Now we can add these two fractions together. 5/10 plus 6/10 gives us 11/10. Okay, now we are going to follow that exact same process with the ones that are on your ALEX assignment, even though they involve variables. Okay, so on this example right here, before we can subtract these two fractions, we need to find a common denominator. So we need to find a term that both the a and the 5 can divide into evenly. We need to find a common multiple between a and 5. So the way that we can do that is we can multiply the 5 and the a together, which will make our denominator 5a. Okay, now to get from a to 5a, we had to multiply by 5, which means we also have to multiply the 3 by 5. So the 3 over a becomes 15 over a. Okay, now to get from 5 to 5a, we have to multiply by a, which means we also have to multiply the top by a. 2 times a becomes 2a. So 2 over 5 becomes 2a over 5a. Now that these two fractions have the same denominator, we can subtract the top, 15 minus 2a, and then the denominator stays the same. That would be the answer for this particular problem. Okay, let's go ahead and look at this one right here where we're adding the two fractions. So the first thing that we need to do is find a common denominator between 3y and 2. So let's multiply those two together. And 3 times 2 is 6y. And 6y is a term that both 3y and 2 can divide into evenly. So now to get from 3y to 6y, we had to multiply by 2, which means we have to multiply the top by 2, which that makes a 10. To get from 2 to 6y, we have to multiply by 3y, which means we have to multiply the top by 3y, and 7 times 3y gives us 21y. Okay? Now we can add these two together. And because we cannot actually add 10 and 21y because they're not like terms, we leave this as 10 plus 21y divided by 6y. That would be our final answer. So I hope this is helpful. Let me know if you have any other questions. Like I said in the other video, I know that we're not together in person, but I still am happy to help you with whatever you need.